Actually, I legitimately don't know. For LFG, what is F and G in the Greek alphabet? I actually don't know.
I think Eta is L upside down.
Okay.
Maybe. I've been wrong before. Oh, hold up. Greek alphabet. I should know what this is. I'm like Greek. The Greek life after all.
Oh,
The upside down L is gamma.
Okay.
So LFG, F. There's no F. There's nothing F like. But I guess you could technically use A, B, C, D, E, F, Zeta, I guess. Because Omega is the last letter in the Greek alphabet.
Well, no duh, it's Z.
LFG, let's freaking gamma!
That doesn't work! Because
I don't care!
Gamma's not G!
But gamma starts with a G!
Gamma
like
is
your
C,
name.
though!
Just like your name. It also starts with a Gamma upside down because it looks like an L.
Oh man, I wish I was that cool to be Gamma, but hey, we're here now.
I was gonna write your name. It was gonna be like, Geicos.
Geicos? Am I Geico now?
No, with the upside down gamma. It just looks like an upside down. Well, the right side up capital gamma looks like an upside down L. Anyways,
it sounds Greek to me, which is funny because that's kind of what we're talking about today.
We kind of are talking about Greek stuff. What is it? The E100 series?
Yes, we are talking about the E100 series, first introduced in the Sonic Adventure game, the original one, and then we got a continuation in Heroes, and then past that, we have more in the comics, both RG and IDW.
Yeah.
Because
are we touching upon the IDWs?
Oh, I mean, we can touch up on them. I did not read up on them, so
me neither.
Okay, cool. But we can talk about so our list of fun characters before we go into this. We have actually I want to say that one. We got Beta, Mark II, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Sigma, Phi, Omega, and Egg Keeper. Oh, and Chaos Gamma.
Oh, and don't forget Zero.
Correct. Because that was the thing that I actually did not know. I did not realize Zero was technically an E-series.
Well, like, I didn't realize that Zero was an E-series either, mostly because, like, it looks nothing like the other ones.
He doesn't look anything like them. And also, during his boss fight, because for all of the other E-series, it would give, like, their number beforehand. Zero doesn't. It just says 0.
You're right. Now, it was pointed out to me when I was going through the wiki page for Zero, he does have a marking on him that marks him as an E100, but it doesn't have the 100 on it. Yeah, he's just got E's.
Yeah, he just has E's.
Which, I mean, I would think just stands for a 0.
Or, like, and also just, like, you know, Eggman slapping his Eggman E on his property. Just be like, oh yeah, that's mine.
E!
So, yeah, that really... I did not put that one together.
Well, you know what? If Eggman is going to...
Oh, no. He kind of can't do the E this day and age, though, because Markiplier beat him to that punch.
That being said, I mean, what E do we want to talk about first?
Well, we kind of already talked about Zero, because that's really all there is about Zero.
There really is. I mean, Zero, at least if I recall in the game, like, Zero was just hunting down Amy.
Well, Zero was hunting down the bird, which came into Amy, so then it became he was hunting Amy.
And then fair. And the bird had a Chaos Emerald, I think, right?
Yes, there was a Chaos Emerald in the pendant, which I remember asking, one, who made the pendant? Who took the picture of the bird at siblings? And who put a Chaos Emerald in there? Never got answer for any of that.
Details. Well, didn't we just cover on a previous episode that the Chaos Emeralds tend to, you know, spread themselves out? Like, they kind of do whatever they want to. So maybe that one Chaos Emerald, don't remember what color it was, we're just like, birdie.
I think it was the cyan one.
Birdie.
But yeah, then he punched 2 birds because he thought they were the blue bird. Amy got pissed and murdered him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, real pissed.
Yeah, because she
Straight
thought
up Piku the activation out of them.
Yeah, she thought he killed one of them. And yeah, that was the end of Zero.
And on another note of Chaos Emeralds, just for whatever reason, just embedding themselves into animals, Froggy.
Well, that wasn't a Chaos Emerald, though. Because, remember, it was Chaos's tail that got into Froggy, and then it was the partially possessed Froggy that ate the Chaos Emerald.
But the Chaos Emerald did get into the Froggy.
Yeah, except what...
I guess it wasn't the Chaos Emerald's choice then.
Yeah, it wasn't the Chaos Emerald's choice. It didn't want...
Details.
It didn't want to get eaten.
Details.
Chaos's tail just ate it like a jerk.
Hey, to be fair, if I was a Chaos Emerald, I don't really want to be disemboweled by some small amphibian creature either.
Oh, does that mean the Chaos Emeralds could just troll someone? If they can just, like, teleport, they could literally teleport into something's throat and choke it out and kill it?
Can Chaos Emeralds chaos control themselves?
Well, I mean, if we're saying they can kind of, like, warp and just go wherever they want, why don't they go into something's throat just to choke it out?
Shadow, could you chaos control that attitude?
The red Chaos Emerald. It warped inside this badger's throat and killed it. Red Chaos Emerald. Why? I want to understand the feeling of blood on my hands. Oh guys, God. I don't want this rock anymore.
Oh god. Oh my gosh. We'll be getting back to Chaos Emeralds because I've got a bone to pick with. Not necessarily a bone to pick, but like, how the heck are all these E100 series powered? You may think you know the answer, but I bet you don't.
Okay. All of them is an incorrect term because they're not all the same. So what I would argue, ones that are like E101 beta to Zeta are all animal powered.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Zero, not animal powered.
Yeah, because there wasn't an animal in there.
No. Instead, there was just like a bucket in the top where an animal, I guess, could have been.
Well, okay, you know, like that light on their chest? Or in Zero's case, the shoulder? I thought that's where the animal was.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Like, as a kid, that's what I always thought. I thought, oh, that was the capsule where the animal is.
Good on you, Lycos, for thinking about the animal entrapped within the mechanical monstrosity. And meanwhile, I'm just like, that thing looks weird. It's got big hands. Looks like a trash can.
I mean, it is a trash can.
Clearly, trash cans don't have animals in them.
Also, you can tell it's trash because it doesn't follow the theming. Because it does not have a Greek alphabet.
True.
Because... Actually, that was one thing I thought was interesting, is there is no alpha.
That's a good point. How did I not notice that?
Yeah, because
E101
wait a minute. Is beta. So, technically, Zero should be alpha, but for some reason they didn't stick with the name theme.
There is no alpha.
Yeah.
It's just Zero.
And they include that because if you think about it, if they did, then wouldn't... And they made like 101 alpha, then Omega should be 124.
I'm seeing on another wiki site that there is an E100 alpha. However, I think this just feels like it's fanon. I think it's just fan content.
We're sticking to canon here.
All right. Out of there.
Yep.
we're inching into Sonic fan.
Sonic fan content, which can go absolutely wild.
It can go in either direction, really. But moving on beyond not alpha, Zero, we have the characters that appear in Sonic Adventure, which was Beta Mark II, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, and Zeta, I believe, right?
Yep, that was all of them.
That was all of them. I don't think there's too much in terms of... Gamma is obviously a whole thing. Yeah,
actually, one thing I love about Gamma is we actually have like concept art.
Do we really?
Yeah,
for Gamma?
Yeah, for Gamma, like we have like designs they were kind of tossing around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the page.
Yeah. Look how silly some of these little guys are.
I also love the fact that one of those images is very clearly an egg robo.
Yeah. Well, because the E series, the E100s were supposed to be like the next iteration of like the egg robo. Like they were like the upgraded ones.
Yeah. And to be fair, they get the job done.
I mean,
they're dope looking. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like. Are you looking at the concept art?
Oh yeah, no.
The first one kind of reminds me of the War Walrus.
Oh, because of like the little things under the eyes kind of look like fangs.
It's got tusks.
He's got toofies.
He's got little doofies in there.
So I actually want to bring a little special guest up on here. So,
oh man,
it's Gamma.
Oh man, look at him. Look at little Gamma.
Yeah, because I have a Gamma plush. I also have a Gamma figure, but that one is not here. I know where it is, but I do not have it on me. So plushie Gamma will have to do.
I got my day with Infinite. You get your day with the E series.
Dude, again, I love these guys.
They're cool. I love the design of the characters. They're, anthropomorphic. There's a certain like color scheme about them that I thought was really cool. I've always been a fan of like color coding things.
Yes.
And the fact that there was like, there was a purple one, there was a black one,
yeah, it was
there was a
black,
red one,
red, blue, orange, and purple. That was the originals.
I loved that. And there was a piece of me that was like, oh man, like there must be something special about each one of these little robots. And to be fair, they all have different animals inside of them, which I don't know if it corresponded to their color, but
yeah.
I think Gamma and
Gamma was
Beta?
a pink bird. Beta was a brownish brownish bird. I
like yellow or brown.
Yeah.
I think.
And then
trying to go back to
all of the other ones in Adventure.
I think Zeta had a peacock.
I always thought their animal was randomly generated.
I don't know.
That's what I always thought, but I don't know if it's preset.
Peacock.
Oh.
Zeta was destroyed in the end, and Zeta's got a peacock. Epsilon's got, I think, another bird.
Delta has a peacock. Or no, I think Delta has a parrot, according to this.
Oh, parrot. Delta might have the parrot. I'm on Epsilon's page.
You
said parrot for Delta?
I think so. I thought I saw that somewhere,
that tracks.
but I can't find it.
Yeah, that tracks. There was a parrot inside of Delta, and then Epsilon.
But again, I always thought their animals were just randomly generated like normal enemies.
Ooh, a robin. A robin was inside of Epsilon.
Huh.
Yeah, no. I didn't realize. I never saw any like correspondence between the enemies than what were inside of them.
Yeah.
Like except for the E series. The E series had specific animals, at least according to the wiki pages.
Yeah. Originally, they all. Well, with the exception of Beta, like the rest of the E series looked like Gamma, but then they get teleported away, and next time you see them, they've been upgraded. Because like Delta has 2 like cylinder cannons, Epsilon has like 2 square cannons. They look like the rocket launchers they use in Shadow the Hedgehog, actually. And then Zeta got thick.
Hey, evidently that's just a consequence of being teleported. You get an upgrade along the way.
And then
let's not forget about Beta, who failed miserably.
Oh my.
And Eggman was just like, I'm going to rebuild you.
Well, no, Eggman literally was like, oh, you want to come too? Sure, we could use the spare parts. Literally told Beta to their face,
yeah,
you are spare parts. And it's funny because Trauma turned Gamma good.
It's true,
because he saw his siblings get teleported away, and then when he went to try and go to the prison to deal with Amy, he walked in on Beta getting worked on. Which
I don't like the way that you articulated that, Lycos.
Yeah, I know. But
Gamma was like, oh,
getting disassembled and reassembled. Actually, a funny thing that the wiki brought up that I didn't even like click in my mind. So when Gamma walks in on Beta getting reconstructed and sees like Beta's old parts on the ground, one of those parts is this hand, like a normal 3-digit left hand, but Beta didn't have that. He had 2 cannons.
I wonder if they were just like reusing assets.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that's what they were doing, is just reusing assets.
That's what it feels like.
I just think that's funny.
No, it's fair. That's fair. And I like how like the portrayal of Gamma and Beta as like brothers, as siblings, like continues throughout the duration of the game. Even when Gamma turns and he's like, "I'm gonna go free my siblings," and then in the very end, when it's up against Gamma and Beta Mark II, and they both destroy each other, releasing them both.
Yeah.
It's so heartfelt.
Dude, oh my, like, it almost brings a tear. Like, I get, like, tingles when I think of, like, that theme, like, after Gamma gets hit and is about to explode, because it's his theme, but it's on piano.
Yeah, and it's, like, very somber.
It is, and I'm like, oh, my boy, no.
And did you notice, I didn't notice this upon my playthroughs, but the pink bird that was inside of Gamma is there in the final story.
Really?
Floating next to Amy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my God, I thought Gamma was just dead. No, Gamma's animals continued.
That didn't even click in my mind. Jeez.
Yeah, I was like, I think, I wish I don't have a photo of it. Wait, I'm going to find a photo of it.
Yeah, there he is.
You know what's another interesting thing?
Uh-huh.
This is not the first time, or excuse me, maybe it is the first time, but this is not the only time that we see Amy traveling specifically with a pink bird.
Really?
And the pink bird and Amy like exists throughout a couple of different pieces of like the Sonic universe.
Okay.
And I think there's a theory to be had there that like maybe Gamma's spirit continues to follow along with Amy.
Because
I don't know.
At the end of Amy's story, the 3 birds just kind of fly off.
Yeah.
So like I thought that was like Gamma as a bird is returning to their normal life.
You'd think so, right? But evidently, again, it might not be the same pink bird, but there are instances of a pink bird following Amy in other pieces of the Sonic series.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's a lore dive for another time.
Mm-hmm. I thought Sonic Adventure was the only game Gamma is in. I'm wrong.
I thought so too.
Are
you referring to Chaos Gamma?
No.
No?
Are you familiar with Sonic Shuffle?
Not at all.
So Sonic Shuffle was basically like Sonic's attempt at like Mario Party is the best way I can describe it.
Yes, I do know this one.
Yeah, Gamma was an unlockable character.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I. And even in the game lore, it says, by the strange power of the dreams of Imaginary World, that he's back.
World? So this is like a dream world.
I guess. I don't know.
Kind of like Eggman's otherworldly comedy stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I did not realize that.
Yeah, check that out.
Mm-hmm. Even references in other games. I did not, like, one thing that confused me is in Sonic Heroes, playing as Team Dark, if you get, like, a kind of bad score, I think if it's like a D or an E or something like that, Omega references something along the lines of, I couldn't even beat Gamma or Beta. So
I remember.
So that has to mean at some point, but like that either Omega met them actually, or perhaps just was programmed to know about them.
I was thinking there might be a programmatic knowledge of them.
Actually, it has to be programmatic knowledge because there's no way he would have met them because they died shortly after they were made.
Yeah, well, I know at least, and I know we just skipped a whole ton of numbers in the E100 series to Omega.
We're not talking about Omega yet. I'm just saying that.
Not just yet. But like, I think, and I can look on it as we look at the other E series that like, I think Gamma and Omega fuse at some point.
That's not what?
I say few big heavy quotes here. Big heavy quotes on fuse ? I think we'll get to it.
Yeah, got something to do with no idea what you're talking
robot
about.
Logic. So, quick, change the subject.
Yeah. Next in the line would be would be Etta, E106.
Ita.
Yeah.
And Etta's in the comics.
Yes.
And actually, Etta has 2 different forms. They appear twice.
Oh, really? Okay. Because the main one I see, they look like Zero.
Yeah. Well, in this one that I've got, there's one that it looks like it's like a mechanical like bulwark. And it's also labeled 106 Etta.
Huh.
The Horde Commander, as opposed to the little like trash can looking thing.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Right?
I did see this somewhere. Yeah. But, what? That's weird. So, E106 Etta's existence was first introduced in the post-Super Genesis Wave timeline, where it was first confirmed to exist through an entry on an official Archie Comics Sonic comic blog, along with other previously unheard robots in the E100 series. It would later make a physical appearance after its reboot within the Archie Comics continuity, where it appears closer to its in design to its E100 series predecessors. So that's probably the one that we see there, because that looks more like the rest of the E100s versus the one we first saw, where it looks more like Zero.
Something about comic logic.
Comic logic, and of course,
you know what?
Super
Maybe
Genesis Wave.
Yeah, maybe Eggman just screwed up. Maybe he's just like, whoops, forgot to count.
And then after that is E107 Theta.
Theta.
Which Theta
looks cool.
It's basically just a teal version of Zeta.
Yeah, very, very similar in a way.
Yeah.
Also, like a stationary E100 series.
Yeah. I remember when I was thinking about Zeta originally, like going up to the boss fight, part of my brain didn't remember if Zeta still had like one of those jet boosters. And in my brain, I'm like, it would be so funny if he did, because I'd be like, but why?
You can't use it.
It's just there.
That would be very funny.
Wait, as a cyan wisp derived laser shot out of its head caused a little more than... Oh, okay. It's just saying how durable he is. Never mind. I thought I was trying to say that, Theta could use, like, wisp powers. And I'm like, what? But no, it's just Theta. Theta was thick. Theta was tough. And that's about it.
Tough Theta.
Yep. And that's all about Theta. And then we got... I love Sigma. E117 Sigma.
Sigma Robo.
I love his design, actually.
He's cool looking.
Like, he's like worn, he's beat up. I did not read up much on him, but like he's seen some crap, man.
Sigma's a self-made robot.
Also, I love the fact he's green, but because like he's green, he's beat up, kind of naturey, and he also has the magnifying glass on one of his eyes. Like my
Sigma's
first thought
the druid.
Is he's very frog-like.
Ooh.
Because again, like the big eye, he's green, like he's worn up for like being out in nature and stuff. I don't know. I first saw this thing, and I'm like, frog.
Sigma makes me think that he'd have a voice like, I've just been out in the woods.
Yeah.
I found mushrooms.
I found
mushrooms.
I found mushrooms. I have been eating the mushrooms. I see in 15 dimensions. I see the alpha and the omega.
Omega's out here just like,
what?
Keep my name out your mouth.
Just backhands him. Keep my brother's name out of your mouth. Oh my gosh. Backhands.
And then Zero in the distance was like, did you call my name? Like, not you.
We don't talk about you.
I was like, okay. But another interesting about Sigma is the whole like Sigma was discarded and created a whole little organization, a whole little island of scrapniks, as they called them.
Oh, that's adorable.
Little badniks. They were all like built up from the ground, which like kind of is another aspect of some of the E-series robots of just being a little more like compassionate, you know?
Yeah, like
they got like a personality of their own. And I think that there might be a connection between like the personality of the robots and the animals on the inside of them.
Yeah, because I guess
that may have something to do with it.
Some of the animals, I guess, like if their willpower is strong enough, like they can kind of override the programming, because that was partially what we got with Gamma. So it's not too surprising to have another case like that.
Yes.
Also,
and by the way, I have to mention, while we're on the topic of Scrapniks and Sigma, there are apparently 3 other little robots specifically in the Scrapnik Island, and I'm sending them over to you, and they're all named after eggs.
Oh, I love that.
I'm just trying to. The Sonic Wiki's site is so slow.
Oh, yeah, because this guy's like the classic
Benedict?
egg robot.
Yeah. We've got Benedict, Florentine, and Rancheros.
Oh, I love them. Oh, they're so cute. They're like the 3 amigos. Oh, I love that.
And they're all like little egg robots that have been. I love them. I know nothing about Scrapnik Island, which I think was it was an era in the comic series.
But that looks honestly like when you first brought up like this island of like these Scrapniks, my first thought was like the island of misfit toys.
All right, the island of misfit robots.
Like, yeah, they have no home, so they're just repairing each other and making a home together, and that is so heckin' wholesome. I love this.
Wow, take a look at all those misfit Eggman's robots.
Leave them to me, Sonic. Knuckles, no!
Interesting note about the term badnik, too, as I was doing research for this episode. Badnik is mostly an English term.
Oh, really?
Like, it's not used elsewhere.
Interesting.
For the most part, things that were, like, localized incorrectly is just the wrong term to be used here, but localized a little bit differently. That's why sometimes you hear them refer to them as badniks and sometimes Eggman's robots, because I think Eggman's robots is technically a more faithful translation, because badnik is something that I think the English speakers came up with, like a Sega America.
Like an English slang, and that just kind of stuck.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
And then we will move on from our land of toys to
Sigma Robos. So
the next one in our series is E121 Phi.
Phi
is Phi looks like a Gizoid.
I think it's because it's based off a Gizoid likeness.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because it's E series, but it looks nothing like the rest of the E series.
Yeah, like this is like, aside from the fact that, at the very least, like they're all, with the exception of the ones that are stationary robots, they're all humanoid looking. They got arms, they got legs.
Like they all have like a same like style, like head and like torso.
Yeah, but Phi, and I think I feel like this is a notion of Eggman's like desire to improve from kind of learn from past mistakes and new technology. Because originally he was making his little badniks. They were kind of like, shaped like insects or animals and whatnot. He moved on to his Egg Robos, which became a little more humanoid-like, kind of, emulating his own form. Going from the Egg Robos, who were not super duper smart, and I guess like not necessarily the best power sources. I want to talk about power sources at some point too.
Yes, same.
But he moved on to the E100 series, and then like Emerl popped up, the Gizoids popped in, and he's like, wait a minute.
And then
there's power here, and changed the power source from animals to Chaos Emerald shards or Chaos Emeralds in general. So I think this is I was under the impression that Eggman has been using Chaos Emeralds as a power source for a long time, since the beginning, but I think I'm wrong on that.
Like, I think it was a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Because, again, why would you not want to use something that has infinite power? Or unlimited power?
Unlimited +1, remember.
Yep. Or plus 6 if you have all 7. Because it would be unlimited +1. Yeah. Okay.
Infinity
just gotta make sure I did the math right.
Infinity to the infinity to the Phi.
But obviously these ones were based on Emerald during the Emerald incident.
We should talk about Emerald at some point. Or just Gizoids in general.
Yeah, I mean we got
more robots.
Heck yeah,
more robots. Oh my gosh, there's a I see at the bottom of the E121 Phi page. It's referencing specifically in regards to his appearance in Sonic Heroes. We'll get there.
Yeah, we will. We haven't gotten there yet, but we will.
Oh, I got it. I found the thing I was talking about earlier. I found it.
Oh.
Are we done with Phi?
Interesting. Yeah, I do see that because Phi has a lower serial number than Omega, meaning it was created earlier, but Sonic Battle takes place after Omega's first appearance. Interesting. Yeah. Because apparently Rouge comments on how Gamma and Omega look similar. Interesting. Okay. I did not know that. I thought Battle was before Heroes.
It must be after, because I think Heroes marks the first canonical appearance, well, in the video games for Omega.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heroes was where we first got my boy. I know I've said that a lot about both Gamma and Omega. I love those two. They're my favorite Sonic characters. And that's why I was bummed for years that we didn't have an Omega figure, because Gamma had a figure and he was only in like one game. Well, 2 games now.
Yeah.
And I was like, but what about Omega though? And it took till like 2020 or like 2021 or something to get a figure for Omega. And I'm like, come on, guys. I've wanted this for years. You would have had my money much sooner.
Right.
But yeah, so it seems the Phis, going back to the Phis, they are basically just almost copies of Emerald. Like, it seems like they basically have like the same abilities as him, being that ability to copy other movements.
Yeah. I think they're like approximations of them. Because it kind of makes sense of Eggman trying to capture the power of ancient technology and failing.
Yeah.
At least in part.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so after the Phi, it was E123, Omega.
We get our Omega. Now, I realize we didn't talk too much about Gamma, like, at length.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about Omega and Gamma or kind of go back and forth. I don't know too much about Gamma, to be honest. Gamma's your boy.
I mean, beyond, like, Sonic Adventure, there isn't really much to tell.
That's fair.
Because, I mean, that's his story. You see the whole thing.
Yeah, and then he dies. Well, he doesn't die, he lives on.
His mechanical form dies, but the bird probably lives, like, another year or maybe a couple months.
And I think technically there's another form of Gamma that appears later on. It's Chaos Gamma.
Yes, there is.
Like, Chaos Gamma is basically just, like... I don't think it's actually Gamma.
It's not.
It's just Gamma powered with Chaos Emeralds.
Well...
Or Chaos Emerald.
So basically, Chaos Gamma...
Chaos Shard?
Yeah, sorry, Omega. We're going to Chaos Gamma.
We'll get to you soon,
was basically modeled after Gamma and using, like, parts recovered from Gamma's corpse. And then, it's powered with Chaos Emerald Shard? Chaos Emerald?
I think Chaos Emerald Shards? Feels right.
Yeah, Dr. Eggman, as a part of the Doctor's experiments, using Chaos Emeralds on robot cores as power sources for his combat mechs. In these experiments, Dr. Eggman used the parts from older or destroyed robots to create guinea pigs for his experiments. Chaos Gamma himself was created as a part of this robot line, presumably from the salvaged remains of E102, who blew up on the first egg carrier. His robot line, however, was shortly postponed on the activation of the robot Emerald, an act which would play a part in the events to come.
I was at the bottom of the Chaos Gamma page, and the trivia states here that every single Phi version was destroyed.
Perfect.
That's probably why there wasn't any more like that.
Yeah.
I was like, R.I.P. Phi.
Yep, just genocide the Phis.
That's so wild. Wow. All right.
Also,
and there was one more E100 series we didn't talk about.
Who?
The Egg Keeper.
Oh yeah, the Egg Keeper. So
these dudes.
Yeah, these dudes.
These dudes just look funny.
So like, I
don't recognize these guys anywhere.
Really?
I don't recognize them at all.
Dude, they're in Sonic Adventure.
But like, where?
They're random enemies.
They're just Oh!
Yeah, they're the dudes who shoot off their heads to trap you and then they charge at you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So yeah, when I saw these guys here, I'm like, I didn't realize these are technically E100 series.
Neither did I.
But yeah, I've actually always kind of liked these guys.
Yeah.
And also, they're kind of a
funny.
pain in the butt, because if you try and jump at them while they have their head on, they'll use their arms to just bounce you away.
Yeah, I don't like bumper arms.
But yeah, again,
Bumper
I never
arms, no
knew
good.
that these guys are E100s, so I think that's absolutely hilarious. I love that.
They also appear in Sonic Rivals too.
Huh.
Huh. Interesting.
And they're also up here in the comics.
And dude, they're true. It's true.
Oh, it appears in Sonic Rivals 2 as a collectible card.
Oh, okay. That's a fair point. I never played Sonic Rivals 2. Is that one of the racing ones?
I have no idea. I'm actually not familiar with Sonic Rivals.
Sonic Rivals.
Let me look it up.
A racing video game.
Cool.
By Backbone Entertainment.
The sequel.
Excellent. To Sonic Rivals 1.
The sequel was a PSP.
There is a lot.
It was a PSP exclusive. That's why I've never heard or played this game.
This is apparently where Eggman Nega appears. No, he first appears in Sonic Rush.
I mean, it's either Rush.
You could apparently also find Eggman Nega in Sonic Rivals 2.
Like actually
Evidently.
in the game or as a card?
Like, working on that.
Processing.
Rivals, processing.
Crashing. 404 error.
I have a picture here from Sonic Rivals 1 where Eggman Nega's just holding a card, but he's not on the card. I don't know. Iterations of Eggman will be another episode completely.
Exactly. So
should we talk about Omega?
Yes, I tried to decide. We're finally going to Omega.
I have information.
It
is prior to Omega's appearance in Sonic Heroes.
Okay.
This is Archie comic material.
Okay.
Don't remember if this is pre-Genesis Wave. No, this is before the pre-Genesis Wave.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured.
But evidently, it's possible that Omega has knowledge of Gamma because of an interaction that Omega had from a mission from Eggman before Omega turned to find Gamma and destroy him.
Oh, wow.
Upon finding Gamma and attempting to assassinate him, Gamma gets basically uploads some of his own computer code to 123 to Omega.
Cool.
And that makes Omega kind of uncertain about his goals to serve Eggman, which the implication being turns him to want to join Team Dark prior to the events of Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, because I don't know how much that is. Because basically, so we have that, but from what I've read, Omega was pissed as
danger
at Eggman. Because basically, he was described as the ultimate armory. Because he's got DACA for days. He's got flamers, he's got lasers, he's got Gatling guns. He obviously built for destruction and want to, use his power. Eggman made him and then put him in the room with Shadow and basically put him in standby mode to protect Shadow from intruders. And Omega was freaking pissed about this. He's like, no, I should be on the front lines, not guarding this stupid thing in a tube.
Dude, Omega's got an ego.
Omega's got anger issues.
Dude, Omega's name is literally an anagram for my ego.
But yeah, so that was part of why when Rouge went in that room, triggered Omega, he went full DACA.
And then, everyone's just like, well, I don't want to be on the bad side of this robot.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you have amnesia, you hate Eggman, let's just work together and we fight Eggman together? And Omega's like, you know what? I bet that tracks.
Dibs.
Also, it's funny, his design has actually changed a few times.
Really?
Yeah, so during the Solaris incident, which is Sonic 06, they actually made him thinner and kind of taller.
They thinned out our boy?
They did.
Wow.
I don't have a picture of it. I'll send a picture. And they also, I can use the figure for this.
Power cores.
Let me have you stand up. Actually, no, I like the endless squat. Never mind.
Squat?
endless squat. But you see this like white piece here on his, like beneath his torso?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, they made that clear.
Huh.
And they also made that like a slot, because in Sonic 06, at one point, Rouge wants to give Omega a Chaos Emerald so he can...
it's got the slot for it?
Yeah, so he opens up that slot and she puts it in there, and then he goes into standby mode, so that way, in the future, he can help out Shadow.
Time travel.
Yep, it is very weird, but that was a thing they did.
Time travel. Chaos Emeralds through the future? Wait, but doesn't that mean that there's 2 Chaos Emeralds in the future?
Nope. Same timeline.
Ugh. Anyways.
But yeah, they also... So he was kind of taller. They changed up... didn't they change up his head? And they
his
brought
head
his
has always had that like design of like the beady red eyes.
Well, yeah.
I think, right?
But like they changed like the yellow part of his head. Oh, yeah, they also increased the height on that. Yeah. But then...
Dude's a beefy robot.
In Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood...
They changed his design again?
Yeah, he's Omega symbol, because he has the Omega symbol on the front of his left shoulder and the back of his right shoulder.
Oh, interesting.
But in Chronicles, the Omega symbols are on the front and back on both shoulder pads.
Yeah, because I definitely see a couple of pictures where like the Omega symbol is not visible on both sides from the front.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also, apparently, the arrows on his wrists were replaced as well. And then, in Sonic Runners, there was a Halloween event, so his torso was replaced with a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, classic. Classic.
But then, I think it was basically, like, after... Like, starting from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, like, from then on, they basically went back to the Sonic Heroes design.
Nice. So he's got a couple of, like, small, relatively small, like, design changes throughout the games. Mostly, I mean, I wonder if that, like, kind of... implies that he's got some sort of like modularity about him, that he can just change out his parts depending on the context of it.
I love that you're trying to give a lore reason. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm just like, probably people are just trying to cut corners, or like, how can we make him more interesting?
It's all part of the plan, Lycos. All part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
Now, speaking of the plan, the power plan, if you will, what do you think Omega's power source is?
Oh, I read what his was. Because I know it's not animals, and it's not like Chaos Emerald or Chaos Emerald shards. I'm trying to find it here, but I remember it was something else.
It's interesting because from what I've seen,
go
for it. You got it?
I have a quote. Power levels optimal. I do not run on inferior animal energy extractors like the previous E100 units, nor do I run on feeble power cores. I possess a unique energy core. I am unstoppable. My energy core is not related to the Chaos Emeralds. It is a unique crystal matrix that recharges through movement and absorption of environmental energies. Therefore, I can fight forever. Feeling this data under joy. E123 Omega, Shadow Generations.
That's really cool because I found lore implying that it was the power cores from Sonic Heroes that Omega ran on, but he specifically states in Sonic X Shadow Generations that he doesn't use the power cores.
Yep.
Because I was going to go on a small tangent that apparently the power cores from Sonic Heroes are also present in various different other places in the Sonic universe, including that asshole, Dr. Starline with the Warp Topaz. And he takes the power cores and he upgrades his Warp Topaz with the power of the 3 colors.
Oh, wow.
Which they call the Tricore. But apparently there's no lore connection there anymore.
Yeah, no.
Not canon anymore. So, doesn't exist.
Because of course he's in Shadow Generations. Because one thing I love about Shadow as a character is any chance he will get Team Dark together.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Shadow's got friends.
Yeah, no, like, In Sonic 06, at one point, like him and Rouge are doing something, and they're like, and it's like, okay, no, we need Omega. We need Omega. Actually, no, it's in the future, they find Omega beaten to crap and deactivated. And
did they reactivate him?
They couldn't in the future. So that was part of why when Rouge went back to previous time, she gave Omega the Chaos Emerald to keep and put him in standby mode.
Okay. So that he'd be present in the future.
And then also in Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood, I know I mentioned this in a previous one, he was one of the optional characters for your party.
Fair. Totally fair.
Because in this BS puzzle that I absolutely despised, in one of the chambers, you can find Omega, funny enough, beaten to bits with a robot standing over him. You fight. That's great. You fight the robot, and Shadow's like, Eggman, fix my boy. And Eggman's like, fine, whatever. So that's how you get Omega.
Not very fight forever now, are you, Omega? It helps to have a power supply.
Omega kind of has almost the Chad problem from Bleach, where it's like, how you show
Chad problem?
Where, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically how they show an enemy or something is strong or a situation is bad. They will have Chad immediately like beat up. So I feel like Omega has the Chad problem.
So as soon as the situation calls for it, they're just like, oh, beat up the strong guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do you prove this character is strong? Oh, beat up Chad. Because Chad's really strong.
I guess. Oh, because I guess because the enemy is really strong.
Yeah, and to try and show that they haven't beat up Chad.
Classic beat up Chad. Omega is Chad confirmed.
And it's also interesting because, like, at least going with what they showed in Sonic 06, spoiler warning for Sonic 06 story. So in the future, Shadow is beat up and captured on this like mechanical cross thing with like an energy web surrounding it.
Shadow gets crucified?
Basically.
What?
And it is, and basically Mephiles is just like, it's like he's talking to Omega because Omega just saw his magic powers and went, okay, go gadget gun.
Oh my gosh.
And Mephiles is like, do you know who did this to Shadow in our timeline? It's like, it was you. And Omega confesses this to Shadow later. He's like, yeah, you getting tied up in the future? Yeah, that was me, apparently. Because basically humanity wanted Shadow gone because they were fearful of his power.
Naturally.
And apparently Omega was the bot who got it done. And
Omega killed him.
Present day Omega legitimately, like, Omega kind of has emotion, but doesn't, like, obviously it's not an emotional entity.
I mean, he bottles it down naturally because it's inefficient.
Like, it is very evident that, like, he feels bad about what he does to Shadow in that future.
Aw, buddy.
Like, he legitimately feels bad, and I'm like, oh, Omega, oh, don't make my robot sad.
My boy. My boy.
I know we talked about this in a previous video as well, going back to the weapons and everything that Omega can use. He can use wisp powers.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I remember I saw that once and I'm like, wait, what?
Like, when did we see him do this?
I'm assuming it's got to be like the comics or something.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's not in colors.
Yeah, where does he use this? I guess it must be. Yeah, I think it is in the comics. I mean, in the wiki page, it's right below the IDW section, color powers. So that makes me think that it is in the comics, but I don't know.
It says Omega can use the specific color powers to transform into certain forms, such as drill, a laser, or even a planet. Each one possessing its own unique abilities. So far, Omega has been able to transform into the cyan laser, yellow drill, and indigo asteroid.
Oh my
However,
goodness.
these transformations require a steady supply of hypergo on to be maintained.
Yeah.
But
Hyper Go-On is just the unit of energy supplied by wisps, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like there's chaos energy, there's Hyper Go-On.
So that's interesting that their abilities don't only affect organic bodies like Sonic, but also inorganic material like Omega.
That's a really good point. I never thought of it. I mean, Eggman, I think, and I haven't done a deep dive into the Wisp lore yet, but I think Eggman uses them to power robots or machinery.
I thought he used it to like power the robots. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played Colors.
And I just realized too, I just very quickly went off to the side of the Hyper Go-On page, and I'm seeing references not only to Sonic Colors, but also Sonic Lost World as well.
Oh, do they use?
Because I remember I played Sonic Lost World, and there are wisps in that game.
I played it once on the multiplayer, and I was very confused.
And it always that game confused me. I don't think I ever got through Sonic Lost World. In any case.
And also,
Omega.
One thing I love about Omega is he has emotions and he has a sense of humor. So
that he does.
In one of the comics, he has they're fighting like zombots, and he makes a comment about like too many zombots, not enough bullets, or he says something like that.
To be fair, Lycos, that may not be humor. That just might be him recollecting on the situation.
Well, remember, he seeks joy in battle.
It's true.
He enjoys this.
This is joy.
Sarcasm.
Well,
that was
cool,
it.
Though.
Too many targets, not enough bullets. That was the line.
Nice.
It was a sense of deadpan sarcasm.
Deadpan sarcasm. That's an excellent way of articulating that.
Also, I don't want to go too much into the shipping wars, but there is a picture I have seen from one of the comics that I absolutely adore.
I'm sorry?
It is him talking to Blaze the cat. I'm gonna send this to you, and it is him saying, "I like you. Let us burn things together."
Blaze Ega. Omegaze.
I love this.
Omegaze.
I love this picture so much.
Oh, that's precious.
It's precious, and Blaze is confused to all heck, and I adore it.
Speaking of which, there is a page on the Sonic Wiki where it is specifically Omega's relationships with other characters, and might I point out that there is a specific relationship between Omega and the conductor's wife from Who Killed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wait, where is this? I gotta see this now.
I'm trying to look for where the connection is, but the conductor's wife does have her own page.
I
see that. For Omega.
Friends
I think
and allies, conductor's wife.
I think it's just a familiarity in being in the same series, because I don't see anything on the conductor's wife page, and the Omega relationships page does not go into any further detail aside from saying
doesn't.
Omega has a relationship with the conductor and the conductor's wife, and I don't think I need to read into that any further.
Oh man, I need to find that lore connection somewhere. Because he wasn't even in that game. We played that.
I swear, I've never seen that man with my wife. That's not what your wife said.
That sounds wrong.
That's not what your wife said.
Or no, with conductor's wife, Omega, I call dibs.
Stop it!
Listen, the whole Omega calling dibs thing that they threw in Shadow the Dark Beginning, I absolutely love that. Like, it makes this, several ton killing machine almost seem like a petulant child in the best way.
I mean, there's a certain piece of there is I want to comment on the Omega's not a perfect robot, right?
No.
He's got flaws. And I think I remember seeing somewhere on the wiki page that he doesn't have a very good targeting system apparently, like Gamma did.
Yeah, Gamma did. Yeah, that actually tracks.
I think speculation thinks that it's possible that his targeting system might be kind of faulty, or maybe there's something in his personality matrix or whatever you call it that's just I rush forward into things. I don't think about it first.
Yeah, he does not think, he just do.
He's got tank energy. What can we say?
Yeah, no, he's all about that tank life. And
also,
in defense of the whole targeting thing, you don't really need to you don't need to aim with a flamethrower or like a Gatling gun.
Or your fists, I guess,
or
in
your
melee
fists,
combat.
Or if you're firing large projectiles, like your friends coiling up into a ball.
Dude, yeah.
Like, in his defense, I feel like you don't need aim as much with those kind of weapons. And even with like the laser beam, if it's like the same one from Sonic Heroes, like the super attack, that is a wide beam.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
And a comment on Omega's appearance one more time. Love this man. Don't want to insult him, but I don't think Omega does leg day.
He was not designed to do leg day.
He's not designed to do leg day. See, I just noticed how stubby his legs are compared to the gigantic arms.
He is really like Dorito Bod. And keep in mind, so that means this was Eggman who designed him. So this is like Eggman Apex Dorito Bod.
Dorito. Give him a head. Giant arms. Little legs.
Yeah.
That's Omega.
That is a really good Omega.
E. Wait, what? E?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. See, it all makes sense. E.
Oh
my gosh. Have we missed anything about? We spent most of this episode talking about Omega, I think.
Well, yeah, because he is the E-Series member with like the most stuff because he's been in the most games. Yeah,
he's in the comics. He's in a ton of games. He is basically like Gamma is his predecessor, and Gamma doesn't really live on. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, apparently, he was voiced by John St. John.
Yes, he was. I was just looking at the voice actors.
Yeah,
he was.
2004 and in 2016.
Roger Craig Smith is his current English VA.
Okay.
And the Japanese voice, same, since 2003.
Okay.
Go get him, Titan.
And I'm
Kusunoki.
And I'm assuming I bring this up when I'm playing Sonic 06. His voice in Sonic 06 sounds different, and his voice actor then is Maddie Blaustein.
I also see Vic Mignogna on here too.
Yeah, 2010 to 2019. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Dude,
cool. Wow, Omega's cool for a number of different reasons.
I never realized that he had so many voice actors.
Me neither.
Because like the main characters, I feel like they always change voices are Tails, Amy, and Rouge. Because I feel like every time we see them, they have a different voice.
That's fair. There are a lot of VAs in the universe.
Of those three, I feel like the one who changes the least is Amy. Cause I don't remember the voice actress's name, but I'm familiar with her other roles. She, like her older voice actor, she did like a whole bunch of stuff. That's how I'm familiar with her. And then after a certain point, like it just kept changing hands.
And like similar in the world of voice actors, like it's not necessarily like a major character, but Anna and I started watching Sonic Boom, the TV series, because
how is that? I've heard it's very good.
I wouldn't say so far, but we're only a few episodes in. But what's her name? It's not Tangle the Lemur.
Sticks
the
Badger.
Sticks the Badger. I recognize Sticks the Badger's voice actor. But I don't know what else they've done. I just recognize like her voice from like a variety of other like cartoons from my childhood.
Okay. So I guess the question goes, where do we go from here? Because we've basically done everything for the E100 series. And I don't know if we'd want to try to even bother going to the other like E1000 series, because we do have a couple members of that, like E1000G and E1000R from Sonic Riders, which are just the generic AI rider, except they are playable characters because you can unlock them, because I loved playing as E1000G. There's also the E2000s, which are the main enemies in Sonic Heroes, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking about doing is that piece of info that we found kind of a few like 10 or so minutes ago about Omega being able to use the wisp powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've talked about Chaos Emeralds before. We've kind of talked about the concept of different power sources and stuff. We really haven't touched upon the wisps, which, for the most part, not present in older Sonic games, but oddly present in games going forward.
Yeah.
They appear in Sonic Colors as a power source. They appear in Sonic Lost World, apparently. Different characters can use this hyper go-on power, and we've weaponized them to be like weapons in Sonic Forces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
because that's what the
weapons
that the Protag uses run on.
I think they're called like Wispons or Wisp things or whatever.
Yeah,
but I feel like talking about the Wisps could be a cool like intro to this other source of power that seemingly all coexists with, what was it, the power of the stars and
the
chaos energy
emeralds.
and was there another one that I'm missing?
Like the Phantom Ruby,
whatever its power is.
Yeah.
And whatever the opposite power of the Chaos Emeralds were. I guess Master Emerald power.
Yeah, the nullifying force of the Master Emerald.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this idea of like power dynamics.
Let's talk about power. Let's go back to power, which makes sense. Omega's a power type. Why not? Let's go.
It totally makes sense. And then power cores, apparently not what powers Omega.
Yep.
He specifically confirmed that is not the case.
Yeah, he has a unique crystal matrix that recharges through movement, which is pretty cool.
What he said. Crystal matrix. Not chaos crystal. Not also crystal, other stuff.
Is it bad that my first thought when I hear that is just like quartz? Because that is
piezoelectricity. Quartz is literally crystal power.
Yeah.
Yeah, you press things.
So I'm like, oh yeah, Omega's just a giant aggressive watch with guns. Lots of guns and anger issues.
He's self-winding too. He specifically mentioned that.
Yep, it recharges through movement and absorption of environmental energies.
Oh, that's a great place to end this. Wow, Omega's just an angsty giant wind-up clock. Quartz crystal. Oh my gosh. So, this was the LoreX podcast. Diving deep into the lore of Sonic the Hedgehog for all intents and purposes.
Sonic the Hedgehog, concepts, enemies, characters, and more.
And apparently making fun of various different characters along the way.
Yeah. So my name is LycosLore. You can find me here on YouTube. I play games. I make other stuff about games. Try and mix games together. That's what I do. That's me.
And I'm Cameron with an X. That's CameroXN with an X. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, other places. I'm the cocktail mixologist, taking our favorite video games and making them into drinkable form, alcoholic or otherwise. Hope to see you at my bar with an X at some point. But until then, y'all, to the next LoreX, to the next lore connection we find.
Yep. Peace.